Okay, so my topic is death penalty, and my major claim is the death penalty fails to benefit the state of California. And my three supporting claims are, first of all, it costs a lot of money to send people to death row, a lot more than it costs to just send people to jail with life on parole. My second one is, does not prevent people from committing crimes. It doesn't deter them from committing murders and that sort of thing. And my third claim is, California's death row policy takes a lot of time and it causes a lot of people to just die of natural causes or other sorts of things in prison. So first of all, it costs a lot of money to send a lot of people to death row. They get their own cells, so right off the bat, it's twice as ineffective, because when someone gets sent to jail, they normally get a roommate. So when they get sent to death row, they're given their own cell, and that costs more money and it limits space. Also, most inmates do some sort of work while they're in prison, and death row inmates don't. They are just not given jobs for some certain reason. And a legislative analysis, which is basically a state accountant, estimates the state and county governments would ultimately save up to $130 million annually by repealing the death penalty. So it would be a whole lot cheaper. And Jeanne Woodford, a former San Quentin warden, said about death row prisoners that they're allowed to go to the exercise yard 7 days a week, up to 6 hours a day, or they can just lay in their cell and watch TV all day if they want. So it's a lot more expensive, and they have the same kind of rights as normal prisoners do. And over the first initial, this was also said by the analysis, over the first initial 4-year period, over $100 million could be sent to local law enforcement and cops to solve more crimes on the streets and kind of keep everybody safer that way. My second point, it does not prevent people from committing crimes. There's been lots of studies that have been done all over the nation and in different countries to show this. The first one I have is Ernie Thompson. He's a criminologist, and he wrote a book called Criminology. And it shows that California studies failed to find that capital punishment had a deterrent effect on violent crime, and in fact found a significant increase in stranger killings and homicide rates after the death penalty was reinstated in 1977. Also, a survey taken by Amnesty International said the murder rate in Canada dropped 27% since the death penalty was abolished in 1976. And my last example was Ford Fessenden, who was a detective in New York, said a New York Times survey demonstrated that the homicide rate in states with capital punishment had been 48% higher than in those states without capital punishment. Also, the reason that I kind of think this is the case is because people don't really think about the actions that they're doing while they're doing them. They don't think about the consequences of their actions while they're doing them. So, yeah. And then my final claim is California's death row policy takes a lot of time, and that causes many convicts to die or just not be sent to death row. This is because after someone is sentenced to death row, they can't just be sent to get the lethal injection and be killed. They have many trials and appeals that come after that. So it just takes numerous years for this to happen. And California has had over 685 people sent to death row, and over 50% of them have died in prison of natural causes. In 19 1977, 13 deaths were carried out by lethal injection, and since 1977, 71 people on death row have died of natural causes, suicide, or inside violence. There's been over 5 times as many deaths that have occurred in prisons as opposed to lethal injection or by some other means of capital punishment. Over the last 4 years, there haven't been any people that have been sent to death row, although we are still continuing to pay for it. And in conclusion, the death penalty does not benefit the state of California because it costs a lot of money, and there are no studies that show that it lowers crime rates.
All right, the main propositions labeled very clearly. I can see that there's a controversy on the subject. Your secondary points in the preview, though, they sound more like explanations rather than claims. Save the explanations for when you get to those arguments. Make the claims clear at the beginning. Signposting in the body of the speech was pretty clear. You had good information on most of the points. You cited sources pretty consistently on some of those things, although it did sometimes sound like you're paraphrasing the quotes instead of quoting them directly, and as a consequence, it's not quite as sharp as it needs to be. I thought you did a good job delivering the speech for the most part, and like I said, it was easy to follow. All right, thank you all very much.